Hi, I'm Aidan from Malvern.
And I'm Romana from Worcester.
We've both just started our final year at school and are thinking about what we want to do once we have our A-levels and how best to go about it.
We know that many of you, like us, will soon start looking. We know it's not easy, it can be quite daunting, so we thought we'd give you a bit of a guide to help you understand what opportunities are out there and how to get them.
We've spoken to a number of employers in the key business sectors in Worcestershire to ask them what they expect from school leavers like us and what we can do to make ourselves more interesting to them.
But first, we wanted to find out what some of you who are leaving school soon think about job and career opportunities in Worcestershire.
There are a number of places where you can find out about opportunities on the internet, at school, from friends and family, and also from career events which are happening all over the UK.
We went along to the skills show in Worcester earlier this year and asked a number of school leavers there why they decided to go along, and some of the employers whether they had any good tips.
There's plenty of opportunities here to find out about and think of where we want to go next.
The greatest quality you can bring to this industry, I think, is enthusiasm.
I think being a team player definitely is important. Being able to solve difficult problems, being able to think on your feet.
It's about getting up in the morning and doing the best you can do.
You must try not, and particularly as a young person, to be totally influenced by mum, dad, auntie and granny.
Interesting, the advice about not listening to your mum and dad.
Well, they also said it's important that you're really passionate, so it's got to be something that you really want to do and not what your mum and dad want.
True. I think employers can tell if you're not really behind it. If I were an employer, I'd definitely look for someone who's really passionate about wanting to do the job.
Well, we thought we'd catch up with a few of you here in our youth bus outside County Hall in Worcester to talk about your dreams and hopes and also your worries, really to find out what you want.
Hi, I'm Shay. When I was younger, I wanted to be in the army.
I wanted to be an actress.
I wanted to be a cricket player.
Football player.
Ice cream man.
Ballerina.
Private dentist.
I wanted to be an inventor.
So what about now? Has everyone's jobs changed or are they still similar?
It changes a lot. You don't really have much knowledge of what's out there when you're younger. There's so many more jobs than you ever thought existed.
So are people's jobs now more university required or apprenticeships?
I'd be like an engineer. When I finish school, I'll go try and look for an apprenticeship near Worcester.
Like you said, you want to be an engineer, it's probably not right to go to university, and yet unless it's something really theoretical or something like that.
And then if it's more practical, it's better to have an apprenticeship sometimes and work more experience in that actual workplace.
In schools, it doesn't matter what you're into, they'll push you towards going to a university and studying the theoretical processes of it when you might just want to get in and learn how to do it and get experience in the workplace.
In order to rebalance it, you would need to create a sort of league table, as well as the league table for universities sending people to the top universities, a league table for sending them to apprenticeships as well, because then that incentivises schools to balance their approach.
You definitely get told more about universities, you get told how to fund yourself, where to go, how to apply, but with apprenticeships it's more like getting a job, it's more go and find it yourself and just apply and see if you get in.
People, they're pushing more apprenticeships now than they were 2 or 3 years ago. I know at my school we can sign up to Worcestershire Skills Central, things like that help you find apprenticeships. But I know maybe 5 years ago, I didn't even know what an apprenticeship was. No one I knew was taking one. But now I know there are more high-level apprenticeships, and I think at my school we're pushing it more than we were, but maybe we need to push it a bit more.
What about work experience? Like, what's people's opinions on that? Is that good, or have people received enough of it?
I think we need to go back in year 10 because I didn't have any in year 10 and now I'm starting to get jobs and stuff. I have no experience.
I think extra work experience really shows if you're passionate about something. If you have extra experience and you've been in the workplace, and especially if you've organised it yourself, I think employers really care whether you're passionate about your subject, especially universities.
Well, that's really good points, guys. Thank you very much. So we thought we'd take the youth bus on the road and speak to some of the people who run companies within 4 of the main sectors, as well as their apprentices, to find out about their experiences.
My name's Neil James. I'm a Training and Development Manager here at West Midlands Safari Park. We're one of the largest visitor attractions in the West Midlands. We're home to over 160 species of animal, and we've been open for over 43 years. It's our business to make sure that we provide as much support as we can to local people, young people, enthusiastic people that want to join a fantastic place to work. We see apprenticeships as a great way of building a fantastic team for the future. Gary has been with us for just over 4 years now. He's been through his electrical apprenticeship. He's now a qualified electrician, and we've taken him on in a full-time position.
I started my apprenticeship here at Safari Park 4 years ago, doing electrical installation. Day to day, my duties often change. It could be something like a repair on a gate on the reserve with a lot of customers waiting and needs to be done quick, quite high pressure. And then the next minute I could be just testing a piece of portable equipment just so we know it's safe for use. I knew I didn't want to go to university really. I knew that going there I wasn't guaranteed a career doing what I really wanted to do, and also the debts you pick up from going through it sometimes isn't worth it. I gained most of my training from working with the site electrician, Colin, and I worked with him for 2 years every day.
We're looking for people that have got the right grades from school. We're looking for people with the right personality and people that have a real interest in our business and what we're all about.
It feels great finishing the course, obviously getting offered the full-time position as well. I felt like I had some direction in my career. I knew where I was going to go and where I was going to be. I know that I'll have a decent future ahead of myself.
Yamazaki Mazaki is one of the world's leading companies in the manufacture of metal cutting machine tools. Within the engineering and manufacturing sector, there are huge skill shortages, and most governments have realised the importance of manufacturing to their economies. To recruit our apprentices, we have a lot of engagement with local schools, offering work experience. We have a programme called Industrial Cadets, which gives young people a chance to experience what life is like in a manufacturing company. We recognise the importance of apprenticeships in helping our business grow. Georgia has been with us for 2 years, so she joined us to study mechanical engineering and has spent the last year looking at the different departments in the company and getting a wide range of experience.
I'm an electrical engineer down on the shop floor, so I install the wires, I install the cabinets, wire it up, test it as well. When I got the apprenticeship, I was really happy because I knew that I had a secure path for 4 years. Tips I'd give to anyone who's thinking about becoming an apprentice is make sure you present yourself well and that you know what career you want to go down. I knew that an apprenticeship was for me because it was more practical and hands-on, and that uni I didn't really want to go into the debt, and I knew that it wasn't very practical. I'm thoroughly enjoying it and I'm hoping that my future's bright.
I think an apprenticeship really gives a fantastic foundation and gives the skill set that you can't get through any other route.
My name is Asiri Hall. I am the MD of Asiri Foods, where we make Sri Lankan themed condiments, and we manufacture here using all natural ingredients, and we supply to the multiple supermarkets. I have one apprentice here. I would like to have more, but the apprentice I have actually is employed to learn a skill to become a manufacturing director. It has been very difficult really to find apprentices, especially in manufacturing. When I look for an apprentice, I look for someone with the right attitude. I'm looking for a job that they really enjoy. Will actually came with a little bit of manufacturing experience. He came with an open attitude. He had a smile on his face and willing to learn.
My name is Ash Green. I'm 22 and I'm an apprentice at Asiri Foods. My duties at Asiri Foods are cooking, jarring the product, packaging, labelling. I think the best thing you could have is when you wake up in the morning and you look forward to going to work, because then you found something you really enjoy. The tips I would give to someone wanting to be an apprentice was just be yourself in the interview, talk about your passions and what you can bring to the company. I think being an apprentice compared to going to university, you get more hands-on when you're an apprentice because you learn stuff you wouldn't learn at uni and you get to work on the job.
I want him to progress. I'm happy to train him further so that he becomes my food manufacturing director.
DFrisk was founded a year ago and specialises in vulnerability assessment. That's telling a company how to fix themselves against hackers. We founded DFrisk after a 2-year apprenticeship development scheme, which aimed to get young people into cyber. There's great opportunities for young people in the sector because as long as you're fairly curious, have an inquiring mind and a bit of a drive to succeed, you can pick up any of the skills involved. DFrisk currently employs 1 apprentice. We went about finding our apprentice 6 months into starting our business. We realised that it would be really helpful just to get an extra pair of hands to help around the place and, with long-term aims in mind, get another member of the team able to perform our testing. When we're looking for an apprentice, we don't necessarily focus on just the computing side. Handily, our apprentice was doing networking at school, but the important thing was the curiosity. So someone who looks at a problem and tries to find a way to fix it and find out how it happened, and sort of an inquiring mindset. So someone who can sit down and work at something, but also ask themselves questions about what they're doing. Our current apprentice is Josh. He's 6 months into his apprenticeship and well on the way to learning all the skills he needs to become a full-time member of our company.
Hello, I'm Joshua Walker. I'm 18 years old and I am an apprentice at DFrisk. The day when I actually got into work, my confidence was uplifted by a huge margin.
As you can see, there are some great opportunities out there, and very different ones too, but you need to do your bit to get them.
Yes, Worcestershire has actually got loads to offer, whether you want to be an engineer or designer, a farmer or IT data specialist, a chef or a nurse, or you want to set up your own business. There is help and advice out there. What I found really interesting when we spoke to employers was that a lot of them are really worried that young people like us don't realise the huge potential for them in Worcestershire and leave to find jobs elsewhere. They say that in some sectors, there's a huge skills gap, meaning lots of jobs are available, but too few young people with the right skills are applying.
Now, some of you may have heard about Young Enterprise, a charity that gives young people from all backgrounds the opportunity to realise their full potential through a range of practical enterprise programmes, from one-day masterclasses to year-long projects. It's all about empowering you to learn, to work and to live.
Earlier today, we were lucky enough to meet Ollie, James and Joshua, who are all Young Enterprise students. Let's hear what they had to say. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Okay. So Ollie, you're the Managing Director of the Young Enterprise Company. Can you tell us what this is and how you got involved?
Yes, so I'm, as you said, the Managing Director of Clean Cut. It's a young enterprise company and we design and manufacture laser cut home accessories, as you can see. We're obviously part of the Young Enterprise Company programme. Young Enterprise is a really good charity that goes around the UK to different schools setting up businesses with students. They provide you with a business advisor and they give you all the help and care that you need to start your own business.
They say it's important to think like a business and not like a student at school. What exactly does that mean, to think like a business, and can you learn that? I think you can learn to think like a business person, but you have to do that by gaining the skills required to do so. Young Enterprise is a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding, and those skills are very easily transferable to the real world. Joshua, how important is teamwork in this? And is this something you can learn if you're not used to it?
Doing Young Enterprise definitely helps you in that respect, and I mean, it gives you the social skills and abilities that you'd need to communicate with other people in a group, especially, and it's ideal if it's something you're not particularly familiar with.
So I'd imagine that being at school and running a company is very different responsibility-wise. Did you get any help getting to grips with that?
Young Enterprise provides you with a business advisor who is really helpful in getting you set off on the process, and also they guide you along the way to make sure that you're hitting all your targets, but also you're starting a business that is going to be not only profitable but beneficial to everyone involved.
Thanks guys, that was really interesting. And if you want to find out more about Young Enterprise, you can find them online.
So you've heard from other young people in Worcestershire, but what does our council do to help? Well, earlier on today we managed to speak to Claire Marchant, who's the Chief Executive of Worcestershire County Council, and Mark Stansfeld, who's the Chair of the Worcestershire Local Enterprise, to join us, where we asked them lots of questions about what it means to a county like Worcestershire if young, skilled people leave. Mark and Claire, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, it's lovely to be here.
My first question to you is, what did you both want to do when you were younger?
Oh gosh, you're going back a bit now. For me, I wanted to be a footballer when I was very young. I wanted to play for Leeds United, but actually I then started to try different things and ended up doing business.
I wanted to be Cagney off Cagney and Lacey, which was which was a female cop show when I was growing up in the 80s. And to be quite honest, most of my teens I wanted to be that, and then I changed about journalism in terms of integrity and finding out the truth. Ended up coming out of university, and what was the thing that was going to get me a very well-paid job? Going into manufacturing, and so that's what I ended up doing, and then a different path through to what I do today as Chief Executive of the County Council.
If I had a business idea and wanted to start my own business, what help could you give me?
I suppose for me, and I've never started my own business. I mean, I was in a Young Enterprise Scheme when I was at school and worked through that. But one of the things is around risk. And being prepared to take a risk. And if you look at all the great entrepreneurs who've started their own business, they're prepared to take a bit of risk, you know, Bill Gates all the way through. And the other thing is having some good ideas, having some ideas that you really, really believe in. But my point about whether you're in your own business or you're operating within another business, it's all about people.
So where can we find information about careers and job opportunities that are available in Worcestershire?
There are so many opportunities in Worcestershire. One of the best ones is Worcestershire Careers Central, which is a great opportunity to actually helping young people get information about where opportunities are within the county. I also would encourage you to talk to businesses as well. I don't think there's many businesses who wouldn't want to share their thoughts about any idea they would have. So there's lots of opportunities in the county.
So, in your opinion, is a university degree better than, say, an apprenticeship or being a trainee?
I don't think it is. It's got to be what's right for you. And for some people, going to university is the right thing at that time, the right thing for people who are clear about what they want to do, they have that passion. For other people, they say, it's not for me. And that's perfectly okay.
Where will the new jobs in Worcestershire be in the next 10 years?
I think there's about 3 areas that the main growth of jobs will come from. One of them is cyber, and we're quite unique in Worcestershire, particularly in the south of the county, in that we've got Malvern Hill Science Park and some of the area surrounding that in terms of real cyber specialism and IT specialism. And thinking about what skills you might need going into a specialism like that, very often it's real basic coding skills and an interest in maths and computers. Second one would be agri-tech, and so how you apply technology within an agricultural environment. And again, you could come from that from being interested in the land or being interested in digital and technology. And the third one would be advanced manufacturing. And we've now got a plethora of companies all around the county that are doing different bits of supply chain in different bits of manufacturing. So those are the 3, but they're not exclusively those 3. There is a whole host of opportunities. Health is one of the key sectors as well, sort of just below that. So, look for what's out there. Those 3 particularly will grow.
And do you have any tips on how to write a good CV?
Be interesting, and the way to be interesting is get work experience, because it's really hard to write a CV when you've not done anything. But if you've done stuff, you've gone out, it doesn't matter whether it's volunteering, whether it's actually, even sort of weekend jobs and stuff like that. When you go and see employers, when they see that you've actually done stuff, then one, it drives a conversation, and the second thing it does is it just shows them that you're hardworking, you want to explore, and you said it earlier on actually, Claire, is by trying different things and getting the work experience through schools and linking with businesses, it gives you an opportunity to be able to have a look and see what what areas are of interest to you. Put that down on CV, and you come across as a broadened character. So for me, work experience is the biggest thing.
I'm a bit more picky, so I'd agree with everything Mark said, but I'd also say 2 pages. Most people who are looking through, tens and tens of CVs, sometimes hundreds and hundreds, conciseness is always good.
Claire and Mark, that's great advice. Thank you very much for your time.
So hopefully this film has given you lots and lots of information about what you need to do to find the right opportunity for you.
And if you want more information, the Worcestershire Careers Central app Claire and Mark mentioned earlier launched back in July. It's loaded with useful advice and can help you plot the career path that's best for you.
Yes, as we just heard, university is one way, but not the only way. You can type in the job you're looking for and the app tells you the different routes to get there. You may actually find it's better to do an apprenticeship first.
It's a great tool and you can really make it work for you. And you might even discover ideas for a career on there that you haven't even thought of.
So follow the link below and have a look.
Good luck with your job search, whatever you want to do.
And remember, you can do anything if you really want it.
Bye.